What is up, everybody? Welcome to the final Ed Engine devlog before we launch Ed into beta. Or maybe just alpha, I'm not really sure yet. We have both so little and so much left to do. Let's get started. In the last video, we got collisions working, meaning now it's time for the next step, physics. Starting out, I'm going to use Matter.js to handle the physics. Matter.js is a solid physics library, so it should make this whole thing pretty straightforward. I also added a new push direction and jump to nodes in order to let the user control the physics. Finally, after getting the basic implementation of Matter.js working, I ripped the whole thing out and wrote my own. Like most other libraries I tried to use in this project, Matter.js was just too advanced for what I need, and a custom solution should strip down the complexity a fair bit. Thankfully, despite the nasty reputation physics programming usually carries, it wasn't that long before I had something functional up and running. This is where I ran into my first problem, holes. Not just any holes, but holes that are exactly 1 block wide. Since all objects are only a single block wide, it means it's difficult for an object to pass through a small gap, since it's likely to touch the edges and trigger a collision. Technically it can pass through, but only if it's perfectly aligned, which objects which have been moving around rarely are. The solution was a sort of funnel, where I can cast out rays and use those rays to correct the misalignment when an object is close enough. Thankfully, since I put so much previous effort into making the raycasting code efficient, this doesn't come at any performance cost whatsoever. After that, no more problems with holes. I then did some major refactors to variables and loops. Variable types can now be edited, which automatically updates all the references. Dynamic sockets now work with changing types, so if a type changes, it updates all downstream nodes. And I split the list loop node into list loop and count loop to make things a little more flexible. So the thing is, Ed has actually been done for about a year at this point. The reason it's been taking me so long to release it is all because of the save system. Basically, any other part of Ed can be rewritten, added, removed, whatever, and older projects that are made with it will still work with newer versions. The one thing that can't change without causing a whole bunch of compatibility issues is the saved file format of the projects. At least not without causing a whole bunch of issues on both the programming side and the user side. So it's the one thing I have to be certain of won't change before launch. Originally, I was using the standard key value JSON format to store all the data, but that felt really inefficient with all the redundant keys that were getting saved to the file. Of course, that's when I started hearing that little voice inside my head again.
Hey! You know what? We could probably rewrite the way the editor stores the saved projects and get rid of all the redundant data.
So I rewrote the format to serialize the data to the point where practically no redundant data was being stored, cutting the size of the project files in half. I was pretty proud of the result, and so it stayed this way until last week, when I realized that if I used this method, any change at all, even adding or removing just the smallest thing from the save data, would cause an entire project file to break with future versions. This might be acceptable for the bigger game engines out there, where users are the ones expected to keep up with version management and stuff, but for the engine I'm building, that just won't do. So I rewrote the save load system once again to go back to using the key value pairs, which should do a good job at handling future proofing. Plus, while the file size is larger, we're still only talking about kilobytes here, so the difference ever actually becoming a problem is slim to none. Next, I have to prepare for launch. So I decided to launch an alpha, at least temporarily, as this is my first software release and I wanted that added flexibility. If everything goes well, the beta update will come in a few weeks. I also made a fun teaser animation. I have an idea for a mascot for the engine based on something an old student of mine gave me, but I'm still getting the model design right, so for now it's just an egg. We'll see it hatch when Ed actually launches. Making the website was pretty straightforward. Just some basic information and access to the editor, though it'll probably expand as Ed grows. Finally, I made the first Ed Engine tutorial. I kept it simple as it's just meant to get people up and running, but there will definitely be more in the future covering other things that Ed can do. This video is going to be going out at the same time Ed launches, so if you're watching this right now, you can try it yourself right now at this URL. So play around, make something cool, and be sure to share what you make. Your feedback is crucial to the future of Ed, so let me know what you like, what you didn't, and any bugs you run into. You'll find links to the bug report pages on the website and in the editor itself. If you'd like to help support the project, you'll find links for that down in the description below and on the website. And as always, I will see you next time.